All right. One wrong button. All right, there we go. Try that one. The cost C to fill a sandbox varies directly. So there's the key phrase, varies directly. So anyway, whatever, we just care about the numbers. So 7 inches of sand is $70. That's a 70 there. And I keep making that 70 funny. And 10 inches is how much? That's what they're asking. Can you just look and tell me what the answer is? $100. Done. If you can do that, great. If not, go ahead and make fractions if you're not sure. Go ahead and make fractions, right? It's going to be 2 equal fractions. They're not always going to be that easy, by the way. The numbers aren't always as clean as this one. So 10 inches of sand is $70. I'm sorry, 7 inches is $70. 10 inches is how much? You can tell it's just a times 10. It's like $10 an inch, huh? Right? See how it's just times 10? Right? 7 times 10 would be 70, so 10 times 10 is going to be $100. If you can do that, great. You're done. It's $100. Now, like I said, the numbers are not always going to be as clean. Like, what if this was 4913? Then, you're going to have to use the fractions, right? So I don't want to give you false confidence. But yeah, if you can do that, great. If not, just go and write the fractions. 7 over 70 is 10 over x. Calling this x here. 7 over 70 is 10 over x. Cross multiply. 7x is 10 times 70. 7x is 700. Last step to get x alone, divide by 7. X is 100, as we already knew. Is that okay? Pretty easy stuff? Your favorite word problems so far? I know you have a long list of favorite word problems. Maybe this will make it near the top. All right. No exercise required. No dieting needed. Eat whatever you want. Just lay on the couch all day and lose weight. And go to the moon. Sorry, I'm just joking around. So on the moon, things weigh less. Why do things weigh less on the moon? Less gravity. Why is there less gravity on the moon? It's not about the atmosphere. It's not about the atmosphere around the moon or the Earth. What is it? What makes gravity less on the moon? It's the mass of the moon. It's the mass of an object, right? So the bigger, the more massive, the more heavy the planet, the stronger the gravitational pull, right? Do you know that? So you've taken some physics yet. So anyway, yeah, so that's it. The moon's just smaller. It's 1/6 the size, so it's 1/6 the gravitational pull when you're on it. Anyway, we don't care about all that stuff. Just do the same old thing. They're saying the same words, varies directly. There they are. So as soon as you see that on the practice exam today and the real exam tomorrow, you think, oh, okay, varies directly. I'm just going to, as soon as I see that, I know it's like A over B is C over D. So I go 160 over 27.27. So I go, okay, 160.41 over 27.27. And I'm putting what? I'm putting Earth weight on the top, moon weight on the bottom. And then over here, 240.59, that's Earth weight over what would that person weigh on the moon? X right there. Is that good? Just 2 equal fractions, solve for X. Use your calculator. They want decimals on this one. good. Diagonal, diagonal. Somebody have this, what's the 240 times the 27? 0.53?
Well, it goes on.
Okay, can you give me a couple more spots? 5.3. Oh, sorry, I make do it again, huh?
Um, 5258.
5258. Can you give me a couple more? No, I'm just kidding. That's good right there. Right, is that good? 6559.5258. And then divide. Last step is divide by the 160.41. And the final answer, we're just supposed to round to the 10th. 10th has just got 1 0, so that's one place after the decimal, right? So I'm guessing it's going to be, let me see, it's about 1/6, so like 40, around 40. What is it? 40.8? 89? Just want one spot, so 40.9? 40.9. There's a weight loss program from 240 pounds down to 40. Must be kind of cool. They say you feel really light on the moon. Astronauts come back from space, they feel like they're going to crush their bed when they lay on the bed because they feel so heavy. You know, have you heard those kind of... Yeah, because their muscles are atrophying all the time because there's no pressure on your muscles. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Is that good? 40.9? You guys okay with these? These are not bad, right? It's two equal fractions, solve for x. Where you might use this kind of thing. Or some people would in real world. There's a chef planning a meal, golf tournament, blah, 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 blah. 11 kilogram turkey, 36 servings of meat, whatever recipe the person's making. 11 kilograms of turkey, 36 servings of meat. But he went to the store and he bought a 17 kilogram turkey, big turkey. How many servings is that going to be? Very realistic, huh? Very realistic. So the recipe says 11, you read a recipe and it says 11 kilograms will make 36 servings. You buy a 17 kilogram turkey, you're wondering, well, how many servings will that make? Equal fractions. Go ahead and just set up equal fractions, and you can find it out. That's exactly how you do that kind of thing. It's what I do every time I cook, equal fractions. No, I'm just kidding. I don't hardly ever cook. So you can put the turkey and the servings. So 11 kilograms of turkey, 36 servings, 17 kilograms of turkey, X servings, right? It's going to be, it's going to be more than 36 servings, right? Around 50 maybe, I don't know. It's going to be over 50, huh? Anyway, diagonal, 11x, 17 times 36. What's 17 times 36? 612. Thank you. Last step, x saying I won't be alone. Divide by 11. X is, I don't know, 58? 56? Exactly? Like 56 exactly? But close enough? Yes, his nearest whole number, huh? So it's round to 56. So about 56 servings. Pretty commonly used kind of thing when people lay out recipes and stuff. Good there? Is that good enough? Just equal fractions, easy word problems. How are you going to recognize these on the practice exam today, the real exam tomorrow? It's supposed to say, well, yeah, varies directly. Varies directly. And you just know, you just sense that it varies directly. I've been waiting for this. Okay. Change the plan. varies inversely. They change in the plan. In fact, it'd probably be good if I put them both on the same thing. So if they say varies directly, that's what they've been saying for the first 9 questions. We put A over B is C over D. That's what we've been doing for the first 9 questions. When they say varies directly, you just put 2 equal fractions. Guess what you do when they say varies inversely? You put them side by side, times, instead of fractions. Like that. Which seems kind of backwards, doesn't it? I mean, you think of the word inversely like there should be things inverted. There should be like fractions. And you think of directly as they should be directly side by side, but it's actually the opposite. The inversely has them side by side, and the directly has the fractions. So put that. This is what one of the most important things you want on your 3x5 card. That'd be a good thing to put in your 3x5 card because there'll be one of each of those questions on the exam. One varies directly, one varies inversely. And there's the game plan for how you do it. Okay, so let's take care of it. So they say varies inversely. Y varies inversely as x. So y times x is 7 times 11. We're back to those kind where they're not giving us, they're only giving us 2 numbers. Remember how we have a couple where they only give us 2 numbers? So that's y times x is 77. I'm almost there. You tracking with me? So it's varies inversely, so I'm putting them side by side. So y, and they didn't give me a third number, did they? They just said y and x, 7 and 11. So I said, all right, y times x, 7 times 11, 77. And see how they want the equation in the end? They want y equals. So they want me to get y alone. So what do I do to get y alone? Just divide by the x, actually, huh? And there we go. Y is 77 over x. That one's hard to like, what is that in the real world? We'll see in a minute, but that's just warming us up. Good on that one. So if they say directly, varies directly, 2 equal fractions, varies inversely, 2 side by side, multiplied, what you call products. All right, I'll move on if you're okay. So, there it is. Inversely, they say the magic word inversely, y equals 40 when x is 0.9, and they say y when x is 30. All right, so this time they're giving me 3 numbers, huh? So it varies inversely, so put them side by side. Put them side by side. Am I making any sense? So in other words, it's going to be 40 times 0.6 y times 30. Is that good to there so far? Everybody see what I did? I did 40 times 0.6 y times 30. And that's what, 24 is 30y. What do you got to do? What do you got to do to get y alone? Just divide, right? Divide by that 30. Boom. So y is 24 over 30. They probably want, I'm sure they want me to reduce that. Divide by 6. Top and bottom, what is that? 4/5. And we're done. So, directly, 2 equal fractions. Inversely, 2 side by sides. Questions? Okay, I'm going to move on. You're okay? Okay, so there they go again. Inversely. Y inversely as x. Y is 2, when x is 8. Y is 2 when x is 8. Okay. Y inversely is x. Y is 2 when x is 8. So this time they're only giving me two numbers, huh? So just go y, x, 2, 8. Make sense? Side by side. Inversely side by side. Is that good? And then, so that's y, x is 16. They want y alone, right? So divide by x. There it is. 16 over x, done. Easy, good? Is your favorite word problems? Okay, product line produces 12 CD players every 4 hours. Production line. How many players can it produce in 39 hours? What do you think? Yeah, especially since I checked the box already. Yeah. But it is direct. Would you sense it's direct? Let me talk for a minute now about direct and inverse in real life. Okay, let's bring it to where you're at. More hours of homework, higher GPA. Less hours of homework, lower grades, right? Those go together. Let me write that out. So what is direct variation? What direct variation means they go up together or down. Up together or down together. The key word being together. They're not always going to go up. They can go down. But whatever they do together. So they both go up or they both go down. So that would be like grades and hours of homework. Right? The more hours you spend on homework, the higher your grades go. The less hours you do on homework, the lower your grades go. Right? They go together. Now, in opposition to that, what will I think help you see that clearly is what inverse variation. That would mean one goes up, the other goes down. One goes up, the other goes down. So that would be like grades and hours of outside job. Right? It's maybe more hours you have to work outside at some job, the lower your grades go. Maybe, I don't know. And the less hours you have to work outside, the more time you have to study, the higher your grades go. So that would be, I call that teeter-totter. They do the opposite. More of one means less of the other, right? More hours, per week having to work at a job, the less time you have to study, the lower your grades go. And less hours outside, the higher your grades go, maybe. So that's an inverse relationship. Does that make sense? More of one means less of the other. Right? So those would be two things that are inversely related, and direct means they go together. Hours of homework, grades. Both go up together. Hours of homework go down, the grades are going down. They go together. That's direct variation. So let's go up here. Production line, CD players and hours. The more hours that assembly line runs, if hours go up, they're going to crank out more CD players, huh? So if you're wondering, is that direct or inverse? Then now they're going to start asking. They're going to give you a real life scenario. They're going to say, is that direct or is that inverse? So I've already checked the box for you here. But if I hadn't, would you be able to find that's direct? The way you know is just let one of them go up. Doesn't matter which one. Just let one of them go up and ask yourself if the other one goes up with it or goes down. So if hours of assembly go up, do they crank out more CD players or less? Well, more. More hours running the assembly line, more CD players will be cranked out. They're going together. Less hours on the assembly line running, less CD players produced. They go together, don't they? Up or down. Yeah, they directly relate to each other going together. So, okay, this is a direct one. So then if it's a direct one, let's go ahead and solve it. How do we solve it? What's the equation for direct? Yeah, the two fractions, right? The inverse is side by side. The direct's the two fractions. So we go, okay, 12 over 4 is 39 over x. Is that right? Do I have that right? Can't even read it there. Let me come up here. I'm totally out of room. So it's direct. So 12 over 4 is 39 over x. Solve for x. That makes sense? Two equal fractions? That's wrong. What's wrong about what I just did up there? Yeah, the fraction on the right is upside down. So that will mess you up. You got to make sure you're consistent. So that's why I suggest writing the units down. 12 is what? It's CD players. And 4 is what? It's hours, right? So if you're going to do CD over hours on this side, then you got to do CD over hours on that side. Is that what I've done? No. 39 is hours. I put hours on the top. See how that's backwards? That will mess you up. 39 has to go on the bottom. If I put the 4 on the bottom on the other side. It's got to be, you can do them both upside down, that's okay. You just got to be consistent with whatever you start with. So that'll work now. Cross multiply, diagonal, diagonal, boom and a boom. 12 times 39, 4 times x, 390, and I can't do it. 400 what? 390 and 78, 468? 468 is 4x. Last step, divided by 4. 390 times 117. X is 117 CD players cranked out. That makes sense, doesn't it? Right? If they can do, that's a lot more time. It's almost 10 times as much time from 4 hours to 39. It's almost 10 times 12. It's almost 120. Yeah, that's right. Just below that. Is that good? Questions? All right, moving on. Okay, so 6 hours for 5 cooks to get the wedding rehearsal dinner. So I'll just say to prep the dinner. And how long for 9 cooks? So that's what they're asking. So the first thing you got to decide, let me give you a second to think about it on your own without me saying anything. You got to decide if that's a direct variation or an inverse variation situation. And once you decide, you know which formula to use. Think about that. So to help you think about whether that's direct variation or inverse variation, take one of the numbers and let it go up, which is what it is doing. 5 is going to 9, huh? So if the number of cooks goes up, what does that mean about the hours? Is it going up or is it going down? Ask yourself that. See if you can be real with that. And then you'll know if they go up together, they're direct. If they go opposite, then they're inverse. So if you hire more cooks to prep the dinner, the wedding rehearsal dinner, if you hire more cooks, does that make the time to prepare the dinner go more or less? Less. You got more people working on it, it takes less time to get it ready. Right? Does that make sense? More cooks, it won't take so long to make all that food. It's going to go down. More cooks, More cooks makes the cook time less. So that's an inverse relationship, isn't it? That's inverse variation is what they call that. Does that make sense? You all good on that? That's always the case whenever you have like a job to do, and you have more employees, more workers, less time to get the job done. Less workers, more time to get the job done, huh? It's an inverse relationship. Teeter-totter, right? One side goes up, the other side goes down, right? That makes sense on that. So now that you know it's inverse, you know what formula to use. So use the right formula. It's the side-by-side, huh? A times B is C times D. Inverse is side-by-side. So we got what? 6 times 5 is 9 times X. Good. $30 equals 9X. How do you finish solving for X? Divide by 9. 30 over 9. That's probably, divide by 3 and it's reducible, huh? 10 thirds, or 3.33. I don't know if they want decimal or fraction. Yeah, 3.3333 decimal or 10 thirds with a fraction. There we go. Does that answer fit real life? It's decimal. It's 3.3. 3.3 hours. So if it takes 6 hours for 5 cooks, you have almost double the number of cooks. It should almost have the time. Yeah, half of 6 would be 3. It's just a little more than 3 hours. That's right, isn't it? That's real. Assuming the cooks all get along and work well together. So there we go. Does that make sense? Yeah, we're addressing very real life questions here. So 2 of these on the exam. 1 direct, 1 inverse on the exam. Feel like you can tell which is which and use the right formula? Put them on 3 by 5. This sometimes. So let's see. Here we go. All right, to travel a fixed distance, the number of gallons is needed inversely. So they're telling us inversely right there. So we don't have to figure it out for ourselves this time. Inversely. So a car gets 18 miles per gallon, needs 15 gallons for some trip they're taking. But they're thinking, hey, what if we took the other car, the small car, that gets 35 miles per gallon? How many gallons would it need to make that trip? Try that. Going to take a long trip. See how many gallons you would use if you used the 30 mile per gallon. So they're telling us it's inversely related, right? So, how are we doing? So, 18 times 15 is 30 times x. Are we good there? Does that make sense? Because inversely it's side by side. Makes me think my wife and I are going to cruise out to Las Vegas week after next for a little vacation without the children. I enjoy being alone with my wife every now and then without the 5 kids, as much as I like the kids. So anyway, we're going to take a long trip, so we'll probably take the family van because it's all we ever drive, but maybe we should take my son's little Corolla and save the gas. All right, so if you multiply those, what is 18 times 15? What is it? 540. Is that what it is? Okay. 540, thank you. And then last step to solve for x. Oops, get the X here.
Oh, no, that's 270.
Oh, 270? Okay. So it is. 270 divided by 30, so is it 9? 9 gallons of gas. Less gas. Makes sense. Better gas mileage. Good deal? Does that make sense? Do you sense that those are inversely, better gas mileage, less gallons, right? Worse gas mileage, more gallons of gas needed. Those are inversely related, aren't they? Right? Many things in real life are direct or inversely related. And so these are the equations you use. Very, very practical. All right. Hey, we're right on time. Look at that. I'm never on time with anything. This is beautiful. 11:30. That's great. Let's